Yo people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for another video. Big up your damn selves in the building. Make sure you smash up the likes every single damn time and subscribe if you are new. Quick, crisp video for you today because out the gates, Ian Maatsen is out of the club. He's going to Aston Villa for what seems to be, according to Fabrizio Romano, £37.5 million. Now, listen, this is a 6-year contract for Ian Maatsen at Aston Villa. It's a deal that has been announced firstly by Ornstein, and then Fabrizio came in with a few extra added on details as well. And it seems like this deal is pretty much done now, all right? They're going to pay above and beyond the release clause, something that we were obviously haggling and hoping that Dortmund would pay. They do not have the money. They do not have the cash. They do not have the dollars. So there's no point talking to them any longer. It's over. We move on to the Premier League, and the Premier League always has money. This is where we've sold Kovacic, we've sold Mason Mount, sold Kai Havertz, sold so many players to this Premier League because this is where the money is, and we see it all the time. Clubs from overseas, clubs from other countries, lowballing, sending in disrespectful, nasty offers for our players, and then pricing their players at a premium. So it doesn't surprise me. That release clause was inserted when he went on loan to Dortmund for anyone to engage with or trigger, and no surprise, it has been triggered because he's a very good player. He made Champions League final and played a big part in that. Yes, I know he made the mistake in the end, but very talented young player. And listen, I've already made peace with the fact that he was leaving. You know, it's not someone I expected us to keep. I said small chance of him maybe hoping to redeem or revive his Chelsea career purely because the managerial change, because Pochettino was really not feeling him at left back. But from a political standpoint and from a club, pure profit standpoint, he was still doomed. Chilwell's on massive wages, Cucurella's on massive wages. Both of them came in for massive transfer fees when they came in. Maatsen is a free. He's a pure profit player. He's low wages as well. Easy to move on for other clubs to pay him. And it was always going to happen. And Chelsea are actively looking at left backs as well. So we need to move on another left back if we're going to bring in a left back, which probably should be Benjamin Chilwell, but it could also be Cucurella because Chelsea are open to offers for Cucurella, reportedly. And Chilwell's obviously vice captain, so he's got a higher standing in the hierarchy. So of the playing squad. So yeah, Maatsen was always leaving. We needed to make as much money as possible from the deal. That was always the aim. Once someone's definitely going, due to whatever reason, you need to maximize the money coming in. And I think we've done that. I think we've done very well there. You could maybe have said we could pushed it to 40, but I think we did get a loan fee on this player as well. So I'm not going to complain. That's a good fee. When I see Trevor Chalobah available for like 20 million, that's when I'm like, yo, are you really maximizing? Are you making the most out of that transfer? But this is a good fee, and it goes into the transfer pool for potentially Elise or another left back or a striker, etc. So we move. Now, Fabrizio comes in with more details after Ornstein crashes it with the Ornstein dagger, and he says, Chelsea are actively still trying to include players. Now, I don't understand how Chelsea will include players in a deal for 37.5 million Maatsen, because that's a lot of money to pay for Maatsen. So to add players into that, surely it must mean we are going to do a separate transfer and buy a player from Aston Villa. We know we've been linked with Duran. 40, 45, 35 million pounds potentially is the fee looking at there. I expect it to be a separate transfer if we're going to go and get someone from Aston Villa, because a swap deal would entail that two players of a similar valuation are going to swap. So it's either Duran, and therefore there should not really be any money involved in this deal because Maatsen, we're not going to get 37 million plus Duran. We're not going to. So I just want to make this clear because some people are talking about Martinez and Watkins and no, we're not going to get 37 million pounds for Maatsen plus one of their key players. It's going to be someone on the fringes. It's going to be a backup squad player like a Duran or Rodgers. A Rodgers, because a Rodgers is a former Manchester City Academy graduate. A Rodgers has previously worked with Joe Shields and been managed by Maresca, I think, for 6 games. So a Morgan Rodgers is just one of the potential names that could be included in the deal. But like I said, swap deals don't happen too often. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's just a completely separate transaction that has been done in good faith between the clubs for FFP, everybody can balance their books accordingly. But he did play with Cole Palmer. He did play 6 games under Maresca, and Is it really the profile or type of player we need personally, even quality of player we need? I personally don't think it is. We have Chukwuemeka's, we have attacking midfielders, we have wingers. So I don't really understand why we'd move for him, but hey, let's see what happens. Moving on, right? Because Samu Omorodion. Samu Omorodion. We're running with it. he's been linked from Atletico Madrid, but the bid was already rejected. So let me read this out to you. Of course, you know it. Turned down an offer from Chelsea. Bid for the young Spanish international was of a 32.5 million euros fixed fee plus add-ons for the 20-year-old, just turned 20, latter parts of the season, and it was rejected. Now, Atletico Madrid are moving on Depay. Morata was coming out talking that he could be on the move as well because he's not going to play second, third fiddle to anyone. He wants to have minutes, and Atletico Madrid are moving on striker market. So he's a big part of Atletico's plans. They want to give him a new contract. They want to give him 120 million euro, release clause in his new contract. So they value him and rate him highly. They've been, developing him. They've sent him out on loan to a team that finished 20th for possession in La Liga, a team that was 20th for passes completed, a team that was 8th for accurate long balls, a team that was 4th for least intense presses, a team in La Liga that don't particularly play the same style of football of us. However, it's a 6'4" striker, a quick striker, 8 goals in the campaign, but not particularly, from what I've seen, clean first touch. So from a technical standpoint, if Chelsea are looking for a technically well-rounded striker, which has been some reports saying that, I think Guirassy is still more in that mold than this guy. But of course, he's older, so you'd expect that. But this guy is of that really heavy physical profile that they're looking for. Extremely tall, extremely quick, extremely physical. But it's another kid. It's a 20-year-old that is not going to come into this team and blow up, smoke immediately. He's going to need time. He's going to have to, be integrated slowly. And that just means, for me, Jackson's the first choice. If you're signing a kid like this, and by the way, if that's the bid rejected, what do Atletico Madrid actually want? They're probably going to want upwards of 50, 60 million for this kid, right? They probably value him really highly. So long term, they have a plan for him, it seems. So we're probably not going to get him if Atletico Madrid want that kind of money, because he definitely hasn't done anything to justify paying that amount of money for at all. Otherwise, we'd all know about him by now, really. If you're talking 50, 60, 70 million, you're talking about a striker that comes in and starts, a striker that comes in and bangs 15 goals on a debut season, minimum does what Jackson does, should really be trying to elevate what Jackson's done, because Jackson still missed quite a few big chances and wasn't a clinical finisher. But this type of player that we're looking at, these type of players that we're looking at, scream Jackson first choice, scream Jackson gets responsibility, and screams that this player comes in as part of the Washington Datro Fofana hive and just a stockpiling of young strikers that are not ready to contribute to a top 4 finish and are just here to develop and to improve and to hopefully, at some point be worth a lot of money. Is it what I want? Absolutely not. I would prefer Guirassy. Someone that is incredibly cheap. Apparently Chelsea admire him. I don't know what that means. Is it because he's older, so they admire him? Don't know. Yes, he's not young. He's 28. Great age, because all of our strikers are young. Yes, he's not got a proven track record for 5 years, but none of these guys do. He's cheap. He's really cheap. So it's a very low risk deal. It's something I'd like to see us move on. He's technically a lot more secure and played in a system and in a team that is on the front foot, that is attacking. Listen, Samu is not coming from a team that have been playing on the front foot. He's not coming from a team that has been playing attacking football. So he's even going to have to be tailoring to our game and our system. Is this what Maresca wants? Does he want a striker that hasn't got any experience playing in a high possession based team against low blocks and all of that jazz? Listen, it doesn't matter, because he's only head coach and he doesn't get what he wants. It's down to the directors, and they better be scouting and acquiring players that he can get the best out of for his system that he needs. Because if they're not doing that and they're just buying profiles randomly, willy-nilly, they're buying a striker whose first touch could be a little bit suspect or inconsistent. I think that would have probably worked more in a transitional system, which Pochettino was playing. But hey, I'm just saying, keep an eye on it. You know what I mean? Make sure you're doing your homework. There's like 2 or 3 of you now. No excuse to get things, you know, horribly wrong. And like I said, if that bid's getting rejected, they obviously want a whole heap more money. And yeah, I don't see us wanting to pay. I don't see us paying stupid money for someone that we really didn't even know existed 24 hours ago. But we'll find out. We'll find out very fast. So yeah, that's the situation, guys. That's the latest. Duran still linked, still in and around the conversation, but no update, no progress has been made. It's really Ian Maatsen Day. He's gone to Aston Villa for a sizable fee of 37.5 million, and we have removed our third left back off the books and condensed our squad down to something closer to normality. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Big up your damn selves in the building. Make sure you smash up the likes, and I'll see you guys next time. In a bit, people. Peace.